Hello and welcome to this episode of Hospitality Talks. I am over the moon to have Mr. Joby Mortimer with us. Not only is he the Director of Charity Services for the LTC, Licensed Trade Charity, he's also one of my OG riders for hospitality rides. Joby, do you want to just give a brief introduction of yourself and LTC?
Yeah. Hi, Katie. Hello, everyone listening. My name's Joby, OG rider for Hospitality Rides. I've been at the LTC for about 11 months now. For those that don't know, we are an industry charity that supports people working in pubs, bars, and breweries. We've been established for 232 years, and we provide financial, emotional, and practical support and guidance for all of those people that work in the industry. There's about 1 million people that work in pubs, bars, and breweries, and we're there providing what is fundamentally an EAP solution for them, the people that work in the industry, their staff, and their family members.
Thank you very much for that succinct introduction. Now, 11 months, I remember when you started at Licensed Trade Charity. Um, a shed load has changed in that 11 months. Um, Tell me, give me some examples of why did you realize that there was a need for change? And then what avenues did you start to walk down to make that change?
So I think if you look at what LTC has done for the 232 years we've been established, we have helped literally millions of people. We help over 40,000 people every year. Um, and we're a great, well established, well set up charity. But what we'd always been, I kind of describe it as we were always like the baby in the corner. We were a really lovely bunch of people doing a brilliant thing, but we didn't shout about it enough. So when I joined, it was all around how do we really amplify our look and feel, modernize our look and feel, and start to really engage at every level across the industry. So we're really well connected when you talk to head offices. But I wanted to start to find a voice for the people that are working on the ground floor. Often the people that need our support more are those people. And how do we really get to talk to and engage with those businesses and really be frank about the services we provided? I think a lot of people had heard of us, but didn't necessarily know what we did, and we didn't necessarily talk as clearly as perhaps we could. So we set about working out how we really clearly articulate that we provide an EAP solution. We went through a rebrand process to modernize our look and feel so it's more engaging and
Mm.
more in line with kind of well-being as a brand. And then we wanted to look at how do we become recognized as a voice of authority. So we provide great service and we can give people stats on we've helped 40,000 people and we've spent probably £2.5 million a year on charitable services each year. But how do we really start to talk about the impact on the industry of the challenges people face? And
Mm.
that led us down the route of wanting to really become a voice of authority and have meaningful data that would enable us to do just that.
And it seems to me, I mean, I've spoken at your wellbeing conference with talking about some research that we did with you, but it does seem to me that the LTC are very much positioned to be that kind of voice of what does wellbeing in the industry look like. And it feels to me like you're going to a lot of lengths to get that data, to get that insight, but also then to action it and to put things in place that people can actually that are tangible that people can actually use rather than just saying, well, we must be kinder to our teams. You're actually seem to be putting some tools out there for people to use.
Yeah, absolutely. We basically decided we wanted to get some research to enable us to really talk uh, knowledgeably about what's happening. Because there's kind of two elements to it, right? So we get great research that helps us understand what the challenges are, and then how do we take that research and develop communications and tools to then help people with that. So after you guys did the great piece of research for us, which I'm sure we'll touch on in a minute in more detail, we kind of dissected that and said, what is it that people need? So one of the things we launched was a wellbeing calculator that any business can take and put in their own data if they don't have all the data, because again, from the research, we realized not every business was great at tracking absenteeism. But so if you don't have it, we've got industry standard data feeding into it. but that will spit out what it's costing you as an organization for having poor well-being across your teams. And that can be through presenteeism and absenteeism. And to give you an idea, across the UK, 48 million days are lost a year because of absenteeism and presenteeism. That is an absolutely colossal amount. So we were able to use that data to build a wellbeing calculator so businesses can understand the cost.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if they add in a bit more data, they can understand if they invest a little bit of money in people's well-being, what the potential return that could deliver on their bottom line. So that was kind of first and foremost.
And sorry, Joby, can I just
Yeah,
ask, because
yeah,
I know what presenteeism is because
yeah.
I presented at this conference. But
Mhm.
for anyone out there that's thinking, what the hell is talking about? What is presenteeism?
So presenteeism is where you are in work, but because of other challenges you've got going on, it could be sleep deprivation, it could be personal issues at home, it could be work issues. You're not giving your best at work. You're there, you're present, but you're not actually delivering to a high standard. If you think about it in hospitality, you might still be waiting on tables or pouring a pint, but you might be doing it in a really non-engaging way that
Mm,
dissatisfies customers and potentially stops repeat purchases or repeat visits.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
That's okay.
So,
So,
so you've got the two mixed together, and the
yeah,
wellbeing calculator allows people to figure out how that affects their individual businesses.
yeah, how that affects their bottom line fundamentally. So then it doesn't mean you can fix every challenge. The first things first, everyone's issues are different and different people need different solutions to their challenges. But if you recognize that there are potential challenges, so again, out of the research, we learned that 72% of people will suffer some form of challenge in a 12-month period, be that financial, be that mental, be that emotional, whatever it may be. We recognize that if you think about the million people I mentioned earlier that work in pubs, bars, and breweries, that means 720,000 of those people
Um,
had issues in the last 12 months. If you then understand that and then can go and access the right tools and support and share that with your teams, that gives you the chance of helping them to be the best version of themselves. So hopefully you reduce the absenteeism, reduce the presenteeism, and that delivers more on your bottom line.
And of course, it's not when we look at the sort of bottom line, it's not just about the fact that if someone's not there or someone's not concentrating, it's actually as well how they make the customer feel, right? So
Absolutely.
if you've got somebody that's serving you who really, whose head isn't in the game, who's depressed about something, who's worried about something, then actually there is sort of an or intangible, effect on the bottom line there as well, isn't there? Which is, I might not come back in because I've been served in a substandard way, or I feel like I haven't had the experience that I've paid for. So actually, understanding, we should all just be starting with our teams, right? Because if we've got happy teams, we've got happy customers.
Yeah.
But understanding exactly what the issues are and how to talk about them as well, right? Because I think, I think it's brilliant that in recent years, we've started talking about mental well-being, we've started talking about financial well-being, whereas before, unless you could see it, it wasn't really considered to be uh, an issue that needed to be talked about or an issue that needed to be solved, right? So these new areas, are you getting as much traction with people wanting information on those newish, they're not new areas, but new areas to the public consciousness? Are you getting as much traction on those as you think that you should be getting at this stage in time?
So, right. So my answer isn't a simple yes and no. So have we seen a huge uplift in the demand for that service and support? Yes. So much so we've launched a management advice line. So if you're a manager leading a team of people and you're concerned about certain potential challenges across team members and you're not sure how to deal with it, you can ring our management helpline. Again, all of our resources are free of charge and you can get guidance and support on how to navigate those conversations because a lot of people are thrust into management roles and don't necessarily get all of that training on how do you manage it and
Mhm.
how do you have those difficult conversations. And also let's not forget those managers having the conversations might also be having challenges themselves, so it makes it really difficult. So by having the management support line, that enables them to get a bit of guidance and help that might then trigger something for them to seek help if they need it, but also help them have those conversations with their colleagues. So we've got enough uptake that we've launched new resources to help. Um, but in reality, across our industry, there is never enough done. Doesn't matter what you do. Everybody talks about the importance of looking after your people, building personal resilience. So resilience is a big topic at the moment. We talk a lot about business resilience because it's hard for businesses to convert and deliver profit because of all of the cost implications that we know about.
Mm.
But actually, you've got to start with personal resilience to enable people to navigate that. Um, and there's never enough done. We work relentlessly, and many businesses that we work with work relentlessly to try and get the message out that there is support available. But ultimately, it's really hard to reach everyone, and that becomes it's kind of our constant challenge, and it's what sort of drives me and my team forward every day. Is until we've reached everybody that works in our industry,
Mm.
we haven't done what we've set out to do.
No, and but I do think you must have attainable goals. I mean, hopefully we can reach everybody, but we can only do as much as we can. And actually, I think that well, from I know because I've been doing the brand recognition research for LTC for years now, and every single year that brand recognition is getting higher. So we know that whatever is happening internally within the company, that is actually translating externally. So one last question from me, which is, other than anyone out there that's listening that wants to help us raise money for hospitality rides, which of course is the beneficiaries of that are Only a Payment Away and Licensed Trade Charity. Apart from anyone that wants to get in touch with you or with me and get involved in that, what else would you like people out in the industry to be doing to help you on this crusade of well-being and of resilience?
So I think uh, pick up the phone and talk to us. We are here, we're ready, we're available. We want to help businesses understand the support and services we make available, and we want to help them roll out our services and support to their teams. And we've created now on the back of so some of the learnings we've taken, we've now created private landing pages for our partners where they can go and access all of the assets that they need in the right format to share with their teams. So we can start to reach thousands of people in businesses for them and give them regular updates of what's happening in the wellbeing space. So they've constantly got a reason to be reminding their teams that the support is there. So I think anything you can do to raise awareness is crucial. And then clearly, anything you can do to donate money, raise money for the LTC is of huge importance. We're really fortunate because we are a well-established charity. Every single penny that's donated to us goes direct to beneficiaries. We act as a conduit to get that money directly to the people that need it. Um, and we donate over £2 million a year ourselves. But actually, the more money we can get in from people, the more people we can help, the further our reach can go, and the more people we can help overcome the challenges they have and be the best versions of themselves.
Brilliant. I think we will leave it there. I will check in on how your training for Hospitality Rise 2026 is going offline. But thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.